Hello, hello, family. Back once again, ready to inspire to share in service to the all. Oh, doesn't it just feel so good to open up and be that conduit for presence, contribution, love? As soon as this live kicked on, I just felt myself come alive with energy and self-love in this knowing and that which serves me also serves the all, and being in the intention of serving the all, well, that's just about the greatest thing that serves me. We are in this thing together, family, and if I haven't yet already, I encourage you to open up, to become and be your greatest service to the all, because we come alive in our purpose. And that's what I'm here being and inviting you into. But as you do this, as you come into clarity around what it is you are feeling inspired to do, create, share, you might come up against a little bit of inner resistance. Because the moment we begin to dream wildly and begin to entertain the thoughts of what if, our bodies, our minds, our programming sees and hears that and wants to protect us from the unknown, the uncertainty that is entailed in stepping into something greater, becoming something greater. Because in order to become something greater, you have to begin to do something greater. And if that, well, then our programming, our bodies, doesn't know what to expect. And so that resistance, that fear is a internal reaction to this consideration of stepping into something new, because new might be unsafe. So understand this when you feel a sense of discomfort in considering something more. Understand this when you feel a little bit of hesitation and doubt around doing something more, something different, something that might be of a greater expression of your true self and purpose. Because that internal resistance, that sense of fear, it has its place. It has its place and it's there for a reason. And if we choose to, we can learn from it. We can learn about ourselves in the process, and we can grow from it. Because what if I told you that fear, that internal resistance, was an inherent part in the journey of your growth? Now, I'm not here to say that suffering or struggle is inevitable, but consider for a moment that what it is you're feeling and experiencing is in some way there to support you. Because if we open up to this possibility, we might just discover what it's here to teach us, what that fear, that resistance, the experience of it is here to show us. So here I am, overcoming any internal resistance within myself to do this. Ready to share with you what I believe goes into overcoming fear and resistance. There's two ways of looking at this. There's how do we resolve that sense of fear so that we feel more confident, so we feel more alive, so that it becomes more natural for us to begin to move in that direction that we're looking to move in. Then there's also the side of, what about acting through the fear and resistance? What about the possibility of feeling that discomfort, but doing it anyway? Acting through it in the face of the fear. Now, which one is it? How should we approach our fear and resistance? Should we, again, seek to resolve it so that we can begin to act without it being something that suppresses us, holds us back? Or should we just do it anyway? It's both. As you might have guessed, it's both. There's something to be said about both of these sides of the coin. And I will share a bit about both. When that resistance and fear comes up, when you feel that in your body, because you most certainly will feel it in your body, there is this experience of fear and discomfort, all emotions, is experienced on multiple different layers and levels, physiologically, emotionally, mentally, energetically. When this comes up, allowing it, being attentive to it, is the means by which you allow for it to be processed. Acceptance and awareness is a fundamental aspect to this intention of resolving our fear. Allowing it to come up, seeing it, and making our peace with it. The breath can be a powerful tool here. Although I see now that is a story episode for another day. But briefly here, when you feel that resistance, that fear comes up, can we watch it? Can we observe it? Can we feel it in the body without pushing up against it, without fighting it? Because the easiest thing for us to do is get caught in these mental loops, in distraction, to distract ourselves from this fear, trying to figure out in the mind, trying to figure out the next way, the next step, how to proceed. This can have a way of distracting us from what we're feeling. And not until we are willing to face what's there will we ever take from it what it's here to show us. And thus will it never stop knocking on our door. If it's there to show us something, which it is, it will stay there until we receive what it brings us. So I say again, this process begins with allowing for it to surface, seeing it, bringing awareness to it on all layers that we mentioned, mentally, physically, energetically, all of which are intertwined, observing it, feeling it, allowing for it to take its place, acknowledging it. This has a way of naturally allowing for that fear to dissolve. It becomes a lot less scary when we look at it. It's like the monster that's hiding under the bed or in the closet. And we open the door and we realize that what we find isn't all that scary after all. But it requires our willingness to look at it. So that speaks a little bit to the side of the equation that is allowing, accepting. From here, we are more likely to act wisely, to consciously choose how we wish to respond in the face of what we're experiencing. Because we will have embodied a more grounded, mindful state. And the moment we come into this body and act from a place of, or reside in a state of mindfulness, it becomes more natural for us to consciously choose how we wish to proceed. We're also more likely to tune into our deepest wisdom, our inner knowing, which will be the space from which we consciously choose. And in this now, we can begin to act through the face of this fear. If it's still being felt, as we allow for it to settle through our awareness, what we'll find is our capacity to act in the ways that feels to be of our best self will come to us more naturally, more easily. And even if that fear or resistance is being felt, we'll be able to move into it, act through it. And here's the power of action. Dale Carnegie, I believe I'm saying that right, says, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. I have seen in my own personal experience the way in which acting through the face of inner resistance invokes in one, a sense of confidence. There is no, from my experience, greater remedy for self-doubt than taking action. I find it hard to believe that there can be any amount of sitting, meditating, healing that will completely resolve a sense of inner resistance that is being felt in association with taking a next step. Because what I have found that is the growth that is endured, the sense of confidence that is ignited when we are willing to act in highest alignment with our vision, our high self, what we want for ourselves, our lives. The way in which that ignites in us that confidence and growth. Again, I have to say, action breeds confidence and courage. And as we evolve into more into higher expressions of our power, of our purpose. As we take that step in the face of fear, there become new heights to aim for. See, that's the beauty of this all. As we constantly align ourselves with our highest vision of self, as we step into that next level, there may come a period, a short moment in time in which we reap in that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. But again, from my experience, that only lasts so long before there's a higher summit to climb. And as we step up against the face of our current circumstances, the boundaries of our current circumstances, we set the intention to become something more expanded, more evolved, in whatever way that means, in whatever that means to you. We might just find ourselves coming up against some more inner resistance. So does it really ever go away? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not here to say that this is inevitable. But what I will say is I can see all the reason in the world to become comfortable with it, to make our peace with our fear and our inner resistance, because this sense just might be indicative of you expanding, evolving into something new. And as we embrace this, as we embrace that this journey never ends, that there will always be a new summit to climb, as we embrace and learn from our inner resistance and fear, we're soon to realize that it's less about the outcome than it is about what you become. Ascenders, that is going to be it for this solo episode of Awaken with yours truly, Brian M. Henry. I want to thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep ascending.